Okay, so most of the cases, so what we are using static CMOS circuit. Okay, so what is the advantage of this static CMOS circuit? So every combinational circuit or sequential circuit, we are using this CMOS circuit. Okay, first of all, the power consumption is less, obviously, because that is no direct current. Okay, and but in dynamic power consumption is there, but static power consumption is less, and it is more convenient to draw any type of circuit. Okay, and your noise margin is high. Okay, so you will get means rail to rail swing. Okay, rail to rail swing. Okay, that means your VDD means it's almost VDD, VOH, and VOL means it's almost ground. Okay, VDD. So that's a noise margin is high, power consumption less. Okay, so these are the advantages for static CMOS logic. Okay, but problem is in static CMOS logic there is means another advantage is so means if the power means the power supply is on means so whatever the output according to the input we will get that. Okay, it will not change. Suppose we are using an inverter. Okay, so is 1 means this will be 1, 0. Okay, until and unless this power supply will not off. So power supply is there means if this is 1, this is 0, or this is 0, it's 1. So this will be not change. Okay, this will be not change means it will not change from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. Even if it will not change the value means suppose it's 5 volt, this is 0 volt. So it will not change to 5 to 4 volt or 0 to 1 volt like that. Okay, so this is either 5 or 0 voltage. Okay, so this is the advantage of static logic. Okay. So again, suppose a buffer. Okay, 1 means it's 1, 0 means it's 0. Okay, so if the power supply is there, then according to the input, we will get the output. But the problem is, this is the advantage. Means if the power supply is there, then whatever the input, based on that, we will get the output. And that output value is stable. Okay, it's a high value or low value, so it will not change. This is the advantage. But the disadvantage is the number of transistors. Okay, number of transistors are in this static circuit is more. Okay, so first is number of transistors, and second is the delay. So though number of transistors are there to get a proper means output, we have to implement the circuit. In that circuit, nodes will be there, parasitics will be there. Due to that, delay will be there. Okay, so now stages will be there. So this delay, again this delay, like that. This parasitics, due to this RC delay will be there. So a lot of delay components are due to that delay will be there, and number of transistors will be there. Okay, so this is the disadvantage of static logic. But advantage is, so you will get the output according to the input until the power supply is there. Okay, so to avoid this disadvantage, number of transistors and delay, that means for high density and high performance, okay, so this is high density means in lower area, less area, we have to implement more circuits. Okay, that means otherwise you can see, so for a particular circuit, the transistor count will be less. Okay, this is called high density. So in a less area, we have to put more transistors, or in less area we can get a functionality. So that is high density. And second thing is high performance. High performance, the speed of the circuit is more. Okay, that means delay will be less. So that is called high performance circuit. Okay, if it will work fast, then you will say that it's a high performance circuit. And high density, the fabrication area, okay, the silicon area will be less. So that is high density and high performance. So to achieve these two things, high density and high performance, so generally in some cases dynamic circuit is preferable. Okay, so that means in less transistors also will get the better performance. Okay, so that's why generally in most of the cases dynamic circuits are used. So this is the alternative of the static circuits. Okay, that doesn't mean some things will be done by dynamic, not done by static. So you can do same thing in static and same thing in dynamic also. Okay, but thing is, if you use dynamic logic, so these two advantages we can get. So it's high density, that means silicon area will be less, and high performance. And delay will be less. Okay, even in some cases power consumption also less. Okay. So why power consumption less? Because if less number of transistors will be there, then less number of nodes, less number of parasitics. So due to that, power consumption also less. Okay. So these three types of advantage you will get in the dynamic logic circuits. Okay. So this dynamic logic circuit already we have briefly discussed previously that pass transistor logic is one of the dynamic logic circuits. Okay. That pass transistor logic we have discussed. So pass transistor. So pass transistor logic means single transistor used to pass the input to the output. Okay. So this is the NMOS. So this is input. And this is output. Okay. So this is your this gate. It's either it's BTD. Okay. And this node is nothing but your parasitics node. Generally, it's called soft node. Okay. So here, this is connected to anywhere. Means it's maybe another circuits will be there, or blocks will be there. So due to that, some parasitics will become here. CP you can say. So this is the output. Okay. So this is the pass transistor. A single transistor used to pass the input to the output. Okay, that's why it's called pass transistor logic. Okay. Similarly, you can also know. Okay, again. So this is ground or 0. Okay, for PMOS also. Okay. So this is the pass transistor logic, and already we have discussed these things in pass transistor logic. We have implemented one D latch. Okay, so D latch means suppose this is input, and here, so this is also one D latch. Okay, suppose this is D, so you can be, this is suppose clock. Okay, so when this will be 1, okay, when this will be 1, so whatever the input, so it will pass to here. Okay, when it will be 0, so it will means this will means stop passing, but due to that charging, this capacitor CP, so this will be charged to that value, whatever the input value. Okay, suppose it's 1 value, so it will charge to 1. If it is 0, it will discharge to 0. Okay, so like that. So this is a simplified D latch, but this node, this unstable, suppose anything spurious noise signal will come to here, this this can change. So that's why, so use two inverters. Okay. So this is the simplified D latch. Okay. By dynamic logic, we can implement a D latch. Okay, by a single transistor plus two inverters. Okay, and same thing you can implement in static logic also. Some more components is required. Okay, and here for this static logic is dynamic logic, you know, fast transistor logic. So already we have discussed. So this is if you will pass VDD. Okay. So this is also VDD. Okay. So this point, what you will get? It's VDD minus VTN. Okay. Yes, VT. Suppose this is threshold voltage is VTN of this. So you will get VDN minus VTN. Okay. That means output from is weak in one transfer. If it is 0, then you can, okay, it will be 0. Strong. Okay. So that's why this fast transistor logic. So NMOS. So NMOS just a strong switch for 0 and weak switch for 1. Similarly in PMOS, so PMOS you will get so this is 0 suppose. So what will you get? Suppose this is VDD. So what you will get here? VDD. So this is 0 means
VTP.
So VTP. Okay. So you will not get 0 value. You will get some positive value. Okay, VTP. But when you will pass VDD, that is you will get VDD. Okay. So that's why you are using transmission gate logic to combine these two in parallel. So for every VDD or 0, we are getting that VDD or 0. Okay. So here, the first of all, so this node, actually directly I am showing this, but actually at this point, some circuits will be there. Okay. When you use dynamic logic, okay, for a single transistor dynamic logic, suppose for example, it's a D latch. Okay. So here, suppose any transistor will be there. Other circuits will be there. So so due to this CGS, actually this is the parasitic node. Okay, this CP is equal to parasitic capacitances. Parasitic capacitances. Okay, it's nothing but, so don't think that this is a extra additional capacitance we are connecting. No. So this is the parasitic capacitances. What are the parasitic capacitances? So capacitances from this. Okay. So this, suppose this is NMOS or PMOS, whatever the circuit, that get to source capacitance. Okay. Or get to bulk, whatever the capacitance here from the output capacitance. Plus this OR. Okay, in layout, this is either metal or poly, whatever. So that capacitance, okay, OR capacitance. Plus this is suppose this is drain, this is source. Okay, whatever the these two bulk or these two this, whatever the means that Miller capacitance, whatever the capacitance will reflect to this point. So that capacitance. Okay, so total capacitance, parasitic capacitor is this Cp. Cp, you can say this is suppose C internal capacitances of this M1 transistor. Okay, suppose C in plus C metal or poly, whatever the, okay, this gate is directly connected to the poly or through metal through poly. So both C poly plus C metal plus C, okay, here CGS or whatever, CGD like that. So C output like that. So this Cp is combination of these four things. So capacitance from this side, capacitance from this side, and capacitance of this metal. Okay. So this is the capacitance. Okay. So when you will give any voltage here, okay, VDD. So that VDD minus VTN, that this capacitor will charge to this voltage. Okay. Suppose you can say, for example, this is suppose for lower technology that will be valid actually. So suppose it is 1.2 volt. This VDD, this is also 1.2 volt. Suppose threshold voltage is so 0.4 voltage. Suppose 0.5 voltage. Okay, threshold voltage 0.5. So at this point you will get 1.2 minus 0.5 voltage. So that is 0.7 voltage. Okay. Yes or no? So you will get 0.7 voltage. When you will send 1.2 voltage, you will get 0.7 voltage. Okay. But actually, for our logic, digital logic, so this is 1.6, 1.2 voltage means our threshold voltage. You can say that threshold voltage, I can say it's 0.5 for NMOS and also for 0.5 for PMOS also. So that means this voltage is more than that threshold voltage of transistor NMOS. Okay. So whatever the circuit will be there, that means you can see the D latch. Okay. So this is, you are giving 1.2 volt, you are getting 0.7 volt here. Okay, this is 1.2 volt. That means this 0.7 volt easily is, though it's more than 0.5 voltage. So here you can get either this 0.7 is 1, it's higher. That means you will get 0. It's not exactly 0. It's some more value than 0, means 0.1 or 0.2 like that. So, but here you will exactly get 1. Okay. See, here you are getting 0.7 volt, but here you will get 1 voltage. Okay. But the problem will occur when, I can say this is for a D latch, this is nothing but a clock. So this is not constant at 1.2 voltage every time. So this is a clock, and that clock value is 1.2 volt. Okay. So during this time, okay, during this time this is on, and this value will be 0.7, and this will be reflected here as 1. Okay. That means whatever the input we are giving, so same amount, same voltage you are getting. Okay. That means it's transparent. Okay. But when this is 0, okay, the clock is 0. So what happened? So there is no path here. So no current will flow this side. So here two paths will be there. Okay, two path means, so you can see, suppose a transistor. So this is gate, source, drain. Okay, so this is your oxide. Okay. So that means suppose this is drain, this is source. Okay. So now what happened? This is off. means gate voltage is 0. This is off. Now this voltage is high voltage. This is okay. This is assume this is 0 also. Okay. Suppose you have given 1.2. 1 minute. So this is 1.2. We are getting 0.7. Okay, this is off. Okay, so this is off means, so at that time this voltage is not there. Then what happened? There is a path here. Okay, so drain to source. Suppose this is value 0. So there is a path here. Means actually there is a no means direct path, but due to that short channel effect, so some current will flow, leakage current will flow in this direction. And another path is, this is drain, this is N plus, this is P. Okay, due to that minority carrier. Okay, reverse bias minority carrier. Okay, so there is some current will flow. That means this charge will discharge through these two ways. One is in this way, another is in this way. So what happened? So we are assuming it's 0.7 volt, but gradually it is decreasing during this time. Okay, when clock is off, clock is 0, so this is decreasing. So when this value will be less than 0.5, okay, what happened? So this value will be 1, this value will be 0. So we are sending 1.2, but we are getting 0. Okay, so here the dominant part is here, you can assume. Okay, forget about this thing. This is the dominant part, suppose. So due to that leakage, so it will decrease. Okay, so less than means below 0.5. Then at that time it will be value will alter. Okay, so that's why we have to give the clock. Okay, such a way that means this value will not below that threshold voltage during this period. Okay, so for that we have to, what we'll do, we have to increase the frequency. Okay, that frequency means it's the refreshing time. Okay, so this is the refreshing period. So every time we have to refresh this node. Okay, whatever the value that will come to this, we have to refresh. Okay, so that is the called dynamic. Dynamically, we have to operate this circuit. This is the major difference in static and dynamic. Because in static, once the power supply is there, means we have to do nothing. Means every time we will see output, so same value will get. Okay, but here the problem is when this value, okay, when this value is 0, means this clock, so this value will decrease and this value will alter. Okay, so that's why every time we have to refresh this circuit. Okay, so this is the disadvantage of dynamic logic. The advantage is less number of transistors. So advantage of dynamic. So less number of transistors. Okay, so delay also less delay. Okay, so and power consumption, you can say less power consumption. And the problem is we have to refresh every time. Okay, and the refresh period should be high. This refreshing period. Okay, refreshing required. So this is the means requirement. Means for dynamic, you have to do the refreshment every time, and the refreshment period depends upon this. It depends several factors. What is the value? Means supply voltage. What is the capacitance? Okay, means that parasitic capacitance, and what is the threshold voltage? Okay, depends upon that we have to decide the reflex, because if the parasitic capacitance will be more, so okay, so thing is supply voltage. If supply voltage, okay, suppose VDD is very greater than the VTH. Suppose you are saying, for example, your supply voltage is 5 volt, VTH is equal to suppose 0.5 volt. So what happened? Your that output at capacity sub node, this is 5 minus 0.5, that is 4.5 voltage. Okay, so it is higher, means compared to that 1.2 voltage, this value, okay, compared to this 1.2 voltage, if you will give 5 voltage, then the sub node voltage is very higher than that threshold voltage. Okay, and the threshold voltage of that next stage, means suppose inverter, maybe it's 2.5 volts, but this sub node voltage, okay, this sub node voltage, suppose this is one inverter, so this is sub node voltage is 4.5 voltage, but this threshold voltage is suppose 2.5 voltage. Okay, so when this voltage will discharge to 2.5 voltage, then output will alter. Okay, up to that it is okay. So that's why if the supply voltage is very high and the threshold voltage is less, then no problem. You can give a less refresh period. Okay, but if the supply voltage is less, so you have to give the refresh period will be very high. Okay, the frequency will be very high. Whatever the things will give you here. Okay, so this is the thing. And again, if it is technology node is high, means it's a 500 nanometer or 600, the channel length is more. Okay, so channel length, it's a long channel length. So in long channel length, so this horizontal leakage is almost zero. Okay, whatever the leakage, that is that reverse bias leakage. Okay, that's this is drain and this is bulb. Okay, that this leakage, only that leakage. So for long channel, the discharge rate is less. Okay, but in short channel, okay, both thing, this is and this way, two-way discharge will be there. Okay, then it will be discharged fast. Okay, so this is the another thing. So one is supply voltage, another thing is that short channel or long channel, and next thing is depends upon the parasitics also. Okay, so the parasitics will be more. Okay, the parasitic capacitance will be more. Then again, to discharge, it will take time actually. Okay, either charge or discharge, so it will take time. Okay, so three things. One is supply voltage, second is either short channel or long channel, and third is the parasitic capacitance value. Capacitance magnitude. Okay, parasitics. Okay, so based on these three things, we have to give this refresh period. Okay, that clock. So by all the analysis, mathematical analysis there. Okay, by doing all the calculation, we will get what will be the worst case frequency, so that this point will not this point will not below that threshold voltage of this inverter or threshold voltage of this transistors. Suppose inside this inverter or any other blocks, some transistor will be there. So this point voltage should not be less than this threshold of this transistor. Okay. So based on these three things, you have to calculate this clock period. So before that, we have to refresh this value. Before going to that value, below that value, you have to refresh. Again, it will come to that previous value. So no alternation will come at this point. So these are the things, basic things you should know about this dynamic logic. Okay. And another thing is you have to calculate also the time. Okay. So here, suppose you are giving this is VDD. Okay. This is also clock. So at this point, suppose if this is VDD. So you have to. So this is VDD. That means this is also suppose VDD at this point. Okay. So in this case, you can say this transistor in saturation or linear. Initially it was 0 actually. So this is source, this is drain. So this is VDD minus 0. VDS is greater than VGS minus VT. Okay, so this is also VDD minus VT. Okay, this is this value. So VDD always greater than this value, VDD minus VT. That's in saturation. Okay, so at this point, suppose other things are there. Forget about that. So this is so Vx and this is suppose Cx. Okay, so you can calculate the current. Okay, Cx dVx by dt. So this is the current. Okay, the current, whatever the current flowing. So that current is not called the saturation current of this transistor. Saturation current is equal to mu1 Cx W by 2L. So Vgs minus Vt whole square. Yes or no? So hello. So in this way you can do what? Cx dVx is equal to mu1 Cx W by 2L Vgs minus Vt whole square dt. So now what you can do, dvx. Okay, you can take these things to here. Okay, so dt is equal to, this is Cx by mu1 Cox. This is different. Cox means this is this parasitic capacitance. This is Cox oxide capacitance. Okay, so 2L by W Vgs minus Vt whole square. Okay, dvx. Okay, if you integrate dt, integrate, this is the C. This is Cox 2L by mu Cox W. Then you can integrate Vgs minus Vt whole square dvx. Okay, so if you will do all the analysis, then you can calculate the time. Okay, so time to charge this capacitance to VDD minus VTN. Okay, so what is the time and the shape of the also you can get. Okay, so this is the time axis, and you can so you can So this is this value. Sorry. So this value is nothing but your, suppose this is your Vx. So this value. So this is your Vmax. So Vmax means at this point, this is Vmax is nothing but VDD minus VTN. Okay, this will be maximum VDD minus VTN. Okay, and what is the time it is taking? So that time you can calculate from here. Okay, this is the same. Okay, so you can do these things. Okay, you can calculate all these things in terms of this CX, WL, BGS, VT, you can get. So after that, you can solve some problems also based on this. Yeah. So next thing is also this thing you already we have discussed. Suppose several transistors are there back to back. Okay, so again, suppose all the VT are same, then everywhere this is VDD, this is VDD, this is VDD, like that. Suppose you are sending VDD, so everywhere you will get VDD minus VTN. Okay, all the threshold voltage of the transistors are same. Okay, if different, then here you will get VDD minus VTN1, here VDD minus VTN2, here VDD minus VTN3, like that. So this is one type of application of this pass transistor logic. Okay, so again another thing we also discuss. Suppose this is you are sending VDD. So here this is VDD. Here also, if you, this will connect to another transistor's gate. Okay, and this is your VDD again. So what will be the value? And though it's VDD minus VTN, so here again you will get VDD minus VTN, this one of again VTN2, like that. So if you will connect to another transistor's gate, and VDD minus VTN1, VTN2, VTN3, like that. So these are the pass transistor logic characteristics, properties, plus for a basics DLANs, how will connect transistor with that inverters to get the proper value, and what will be the that value, the Vx, the soft node value, how it changes. Okay, so that leakage things we will discuss later in more details in mathematical also, how this is leakage happens. Okay, in two way, that is from in short channel and a long channel. Long channel is less, and short channel, that is one direct path, and another is leakage path. Okay, from drain to source, another is from drain to bulk. This is drain. So this is two way you can leak from that charges from that capacitor. Okay, so for that, how the clock signal should be. Okay, the frequency will be more or less to replace that. So these are the things for a pass transistor logic. Okay, and similarly here I shared that VDD. So you can do also. Okay, you can do also suppose 0. Okay, so 0, that is capacitor. Okay, this is VDD. So 0 means suppose initial whatever the things, assume that this was VDD minus VTN initially. So what happened? Suppose this is clock at this point. Suppose this point. So this will, okay. So in what happened? This will 0, then this will discharge. Okay, so when it will be VDD, then it will become to 0. And then suppose this is off, and this is VDD minus VTN. Okay, so this is off, and this is VDD minus VTN. It is 0. So that time what happened? So this will discharge in this pass. Okay, this is off, but still it will discharge through that two way. Okay, from drain to source or drain to bulk. or this value will decrease. Okay, so in this way, you can calculate. Here is different. Okay, when we are sending VDD, that time throughout this time the transistor was in saturation. But here, for some time, the transistor will be saturated and sometime the transistor will be linear. So you can do both derivations. Okay, for saturation region, what is the time again from linear when this value will be VDD, VD sat. When this value discharged to VD sat, from that point to 0, it will be linear. Okay, so this is VDD minus VTN to VD sat. When this point voltage VDD minus VTN to VD sat, that is saturation. Again, VDD, when this point VDD sat to 0, that is linear. Okay, so you can solve in this way also. So Cx dVx minus dt is equal to that current, saturation current for some time, again linear current for some time. So in both way you can derive, then you can get the time. Okay, and you can get also the same. So in this way, so understand the past transistor logic, and then we'll extend the this theory to more circuits and more details. Okay, so clear till now?
Yes, sir.
So this thing already we have discussed. So this is the basic things. Okay, so once we'll understood these things, then we'll go more in more detail. Okay. So, anyone have any doubt? Yeah. So you have another class now, I think.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So okay, we'll stop here. So and then tomorrow your interview is after 3:30. 3 from 3 to whatever the time it is. So tomorrow also you can take a class. Is it okay or?
Yes, sir. It is okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. So.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.